Recording is on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bat Community Call for Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. Hope you all are doing well. I think a lot going on this week, and I think we'll give folks a minute here to join, and looking forward to this one. How are you doing, Bat Aaron? I see you're all caps today.
Yeah, it depends which window I open. I'm great. How are you?
Good. Doing well.
Have you seen the Minecraft movie yet?
My wife and kids went to see it, and my wife was actually really impressed with it. She didn't have high hopes, and she said it was better than expected.
Oh, I thought it was going to be all right, but it was all right, you know.
Yeah, well, she was there with a 6 and 8 year old, so I think it probably different audience. You know what I mean? But
they had to have someone come at the start and be like, "Okay, everyone behave. No TikTok today, or you'll be thrown out. Family friendly."
Oh, you'd like to hear this, Bat Aaron? I recorded a podcast episode today with Decentraland. That's going to be
lovely.
Yeah. With what's his name? Oh God, I'm blanking on the name, but it went really well. It was actually pretty cool. I think that I think that folks will like it.
Good. Yeah, I've been having a lot, but besides, yeah, I found it to be quite a useful kind of third space. You know, it's like I've mentioned this before, but it's the communication in a 3D world makes it all the difference. Like the proximity of people, and it's versus everyone just kind of being in a box or in a chat.
Yeah, I stole your take on it too, from when Kim was here. The whole thing where you can actually it's one thing to have a very kind of flat, 2-person chat or conference call. It's a whole other thing when you can kind of gesture and have people moving in a space virtually together. But I think it was also timely too, because there's all these articles about the Coachella food prices and stuff, and I was I think just having people be able to get together where it doesn't cost you a kidney to have an experience is kind of a cool thing. Yeah.
Oh no, we want people selling their kidneys to buy work. There's no spending money talk.
non-fungible kidney markets or whatever. Yeah. So that'd be...
they need to be buying matter, buying bat, up.
It was cool. There was something to it too. I think I love talking to these projects that have been around since 2017 era, where it's okay, if you can probably count them on one hand at this point, the ones that are actually consumer products or user products, that are still here, and it's a miracle that they're still doing their thing. And it was neat too to kind of get in the weeds around the challenges and things like that. And a lot of it sounded really familiar to what we've had to encounter at Brave, where you've got really on their side, a lot of it's really focused on decentralization. So what trade-offs they would have to make as they scaled or tried to reach a broader audience, right? So for example, letting people have a email account that they could then spin up a self-custody address behind, where the tech is in the background, but it's usable for anybody that knows how to auth with an email account, right? And stuff like that, where certain services they had to use centralized services for them, but then they made sure that they did open source services for those things and stuff like that, where it's really a practical kind of approach, where the core things that are super important, you keep those decentralized as much as possible, and then when you have to make trade-offs, you kind of do it in the most sensible way. But it was cool to hear that from other projects. This such a rarity. But anyway, it was cool. I thought you'd dig that, hearing about that one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, where's Jenny? Jenny here?
I think she's running a little bit behind.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Jenny, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. We have a little formatting issue with our deck today. So sorry, I couldn't fix that in time, and Guillermo had to take off a bit early, so he couldn't fix it for us.
Good.
So we have a white border today. But anyways, welcome to the deck. Some fun gifts to kick off the week from Blue Orbit. Okay, Blue Origin. All right, everyone. X Spaces. We, for the first time since we started working with Unfungible, are not doing a space this Friday because it is Good Friday. So we have the week off, but fear not, because we'll be back next week with another Twitter space. We did some really fun events recently with Unfungible, though. Last week we had the balance of fun gamification and addiction. Jack from Unfungible was our host last week, switched it up a little bit. It was a super fun discussion. I think everybody who participated really enjoyed it. So I recommend going to check out the recording if you missed it. It's on BatX. And then the week prior, we had the new age of digital advertising with Spin Talk, Gouge, and Q42. I was not on that panel, but I'm told it was also very good. So go check it out if you missed it. As you all know, last month we announced the new Brave Rewards 3.0 partner program and promised that we would be doing monthly updates wherein we'd update on the progress of the previous cohort of partners, that we'd be announcing a new cohort of partners each month. So we are just completing the lineup for this month, readying the blog for announcement next week and other comms. And we're really excited about this next batch, and we think that you all will be very excited too. But just wanted to let you know that there is lots of work going on for this behind the scenes that I can't necessarily show today, but we'll be able to show off more next week. Okay, Paola, fun one. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. All right, so we are really excited to announce our merch giveaway winner. If you remember last week, we shared a post on X where we invited everyone to join the giveaway. So, the steps were super simple. You just needed to follow us, like the post, repost it, and the most important thing, leave a comment telling us your favorite thing about BAT. We had amazing responses from the community and users. Unfortunately, we can only pick one winner. We would have loved to pick you all, of course, but thank you to everyone who joined and showed some love for Bad and Brave. Oh my God, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if it was my connection or if we all couldn't hear you for a couple of seconds, but
No, I can hear.
okay,
Oh
great.
my God,
Okay, so
I got super scared. Okay, moving
sorry
on.
about that.
No
Okay.
worries, no worries. Thank you so much for letting me know. And okay, so huge congratulations to Kovman Redkov. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but woo! Thank you, congratulations. So we'll be sending you a DM shortly to get your information and to make sure all of your exclusive merch gets to you safely. And everyone, if you didn't win, don't worry. This definitely won't be the last surprise we got for the community. Just stay tuned. But thank you so much for everyone who participated. And again, congratulations to the winner.
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, thanks, Paula. Like I mentioned earlier, Guillermo had to take off a little bit early today, so I'm going to run through his slides quickly. I might not have all the details down because I wasn't prepared to cover his slides for him, but we're going to do our best here. So I know Guillermo is working on some really cool stuff for our Echo channel on Drip House. He says we'll use Echo as a vehicle to promote projects featured in the BAT offer wall. And what he also means by that is partners that are joining the cohorts monthly for the Rewards 3.0 partner program. We'll be doing exclusive drops with each of those partners as another sort of like avenue of engagement and cross collaboration. So he said, we started with Chomp and now we are working with Karate Combat to do innovative ways to provide fun, interactive collectibles through Echo. And he covers a little bit about that on the next slide as well. He said with Chomp, we did a collection of quiz decks all about BAT that rewarded users with BAT. We had KZ from Chomp on the community call about a month ago, and she walked through all of that. And I know many of you got a chance to participate in the quiz decks and score some BAT from that experience. So hopefully you like that. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this will be announced shortly. This is not really announced yet in the community, but we're just going to preview it here. So Guillermo says we are doing 3 drops on Echo to promote Karate Combat's KC54 event, which is happening later this month, I believe, at the end of April. He says there will be these 3 drops will be accompanied by 2 giveaways. Okay, so there will be 3 editions of this collectible. A common will just be a ticket promoting the fight and live stream, which, yeah, just digital thing you can collect. That, like a digital ticket stub. And then rare VIP ticket to a token gated channel on our Discord server that will host a massive merch giveaway. So that pretty much explains it. We don't know where that'll live yet on the server, but stay tuned. And then ultimate is a 1-to-1 drop to give out to the winner of the giveaway we are hosting on X. And for the one person who wins this, they'll actually receive tickets to the KC54 event. It's in Dubai. Yeah, on May 2nd. Okay, not at the end of April, it's on May 2nd. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll be announcing on X this week, and we'll explain how to enter and again, where to go if you receive the rare or the ultimate editions. Very cool. Okay, Pattern, your turn.
Hello, everyone. Here's your ambassador update for the week. Speaking of Decentraland, like we were at the start, I'm going to be going on Beyond the NFT on next Monday at 8 p.m. EST. We're having a space on April the 24th, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I don't actually know if it's top flight football. I know it's football related, courtesy of Moonbeamer. Just letting everyone know, Monday is the last opportunity to put in details to receive a BAT Ambassador pin. If you're in the program, I just forgot to say it yesterday. We've now got a timeline of events on that people are planning on Notion, so we can keep on top of them all. I just see it visually represented, makes it a lot less easier for stuff to get lost in the source. And I've started vibe coding a BAT-themed clone of Worms, like the right to mock up. So far, I've managed to make the bat fly. That's as far as I've got, but it's progress. I want to have him be able to turn around and throw shit at people by the end of the week at the very least. But yeah, that's me. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, Pattern.
Yeah, shut up. But I wonder what vibe coding actually is. I've just been hearing about it, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. Do you just sip
imagine coding so easy that I can do it. That's what so basically, you know how with the images, you just don't have to be an artist. You just need to be able to describe. You need to visualize something in your head, then describe it in a way that it can be generated. It's the same with vibe coding. You're like, yeah, I remember that game Worms. That was cool. So can I make just a rip off of that? It's like, yeah. And then you're like, okay, well, I want this gun that does this gun that does this. I want it to just throw poo at people. You just have to be able, if you visualize it in your head, then you describe it well, then the AI creates it for you. That's basically it.
Do you have to listen to Vaporwave while you're vibe coding?
That's what I'm saying. Do you have to sip wine and or vape your vape cigar? Is that how that works?
Yeah, you have to chill. I listen to Nightcore while I'm doing it, which is maybe a bit too energetic, but it does the job.
Shout out all the people who went to college for computer science and learn how to code.
No. We're doing so much wonders for people who got jobs in cybersecurity, so it all works out.
Yeah, okay. Well, hello, everybody. This is your Brave in Africa weekly. My name is Godson. I have some updates for you this week. Um, so on the 12th, we sent Stan to Egerton University. This was a co-event hosted with Cordell. This was like a smaller event. He just kind of like went over. Yeah, he went over, Brave and Bat. He also did like a guano airdrop as well. He said it was an exciting event, and the and energy was lively, apparently. So just like another like weekly stand update. It's very exciting. We have some plans, but as of yet, this is what it is. Next slide, please. Thank you. We also supported our ambassador in Nigeria. His name is Alfred, who was at the Bitcoin hangout in Abuja, and this was like a smaller event hosted with the this was a self-hosted event. He was able to hand out some merch and give away some bat as well. He also signed up a bunch of people for my son is right here with me. He signed up a bunch of people for self-custody as well. So this is just like a cool event as well. It's just kind of fun seeing the African ambassadors doing a lot of like on the ground work, doing their like evangelism. So yeah, that's it for us this week. We'll have some more updates for you next week. Thank you.
Nice.
Okay, so just a couple of quick updates from my side, including a LATAM update. First, I'm currently working on summary number 47 of the BAT community calls. It's still in progress, but it'll be published soon. It's in the same link for the entire summaries in Notion. Also, regarding the summaries, summary number 37 is also about to be published in Japanese, also in the same Notion link. And this one was translated by our BAT ambassador Atsushi. And well, now for the Japanese summaries, the Japan community would like to take like a different approach and try other formats and just a way to make the localization easier. So Atsushi and Natch and the rest of the team will work on that. But they will continue to post the BAT community call summaries in Japanese. And lastly, I'm very excited to share that the BAT Mexico team will represent Brave at Talentland later this month, April 21st to 24th. And this is a great opportunity because even though it's a conference, it's focused on young talent and it's full of university students and all that. And well, actually, Jenny and I attended a couple years ago with other team members, and it was I would say, a very different experience compared to other Web3 and tech conferences. Like the energy was great. We loved connecting with so many students, and they also were super engaged with us and the presentation and all the explanation about Brave and BAT. So that made the experience at the booth even more enjoyable. And yeah, so we're excited to see what the BAT Mexico team will able to build there. And well, I'll have a call with them this week to discuss some details before the event. But one of their main focuses will be content creation, which is something we really, really need in Spanish, and also more activities, including merch and more. So I'm very excited for that, and I'll keep you posted. Next slide, please. Thank you. And now for the highlights of the week. These are some of the best posts from Brave users this past week. But I wanted to give a special shout out to Keith, of course, for shilling Brave and creating like organic and, real engagement on his post of browsers ranking list. And through these comments, there was a lot of love for Brave, especially from people who've been, using it for years and just really enjoy the browsing, the browsing experience. It's really nice to see this kind of support. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, Keith. And yeah, that's all from my side today. Thank you. And I think this is all from us too. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Good updates. Yeah, like Jenny mentioned, we're working on the upcoming April cohort of partners for the partner program announcement. And we're also actually have a good crop of folks for May that are inbound that we've been getting ready as well. We're seeing a bunch of cool inbound from the announcement in March that have been coming in. So even that announcement, the initial one, was getting people coming through the form that want to reach out. But super excited for that. Just from my side of things, it's been really busy the past week on. Well, first off, there's a bunch of things that have shipped around. Zcash is in nightly, the shielded option, and I think we might have somebody from Zcash on the community call next week from the community over there to talk about what's going on with them as well, to get some more POV on in the group and all that, and that's been pretty awesome. We also have a couple other networks we're talking to, and some other partners we're talking about bringing on. But yeah, I think I can just open it up if folks want to talk about anything or have questions or go over anything like that that you guys want to talk about. Is there staking in the wallet? If not, why not? We're actually working on that now. It's one of the items we were talking about with revisiting with legal, but yeah, I think we got the go ahead to add the ability to have staking added there. So I can find out specifically, more specifically, when they plan on adding that. But yeah, I agree. It's one of those table stakes things that we want to add support for. So I think that there's been a bunch of work in queue that committed work that has been going on around getting the Zcash stuff integrated and some other pieces. There's also been a bunch of work around the what's it called, the token availability and the lists and things like that, so that more options show up there and stuff like that that's been going on too. So yeah, I think staking is going to be one of those things we want to get in there pretty soon, sooner rather than later. Let's see here. Yeah, Battern mentioned why not just take your bet in Quantum Cave? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so cool stuff going there. I'll open up the floor. If folks want to talk about anything in particular, we can cover. Also, I don't know if folks saw. I was on Eric Prince has a podcast, Off Leash, and I did a appearance on that. It dropped on Friday on YouTube. I think you can probably find it there. I talked about that a little bit on that, and about Brave and privacy and stuff like that. And he talked about Unplugged and talked about Brave, and yeah, it was pretty good. The comments on it have been pretty good too. So I'm trying to get on a lot more podcasts and shows to get the word out more about Brave and BAT to the broader space, and these types of appearances help to provide additional real material for that. And then also I'm working on getting some additional folks on Brave Technologies podcast, which we're actually getting close to 500,000 downloads and views on that one since we've taken it over back in, gosh, what was that? August of 2023, I think, was when that rebrand took place. So that's been kind of cool. C-Ray says, lost track time, have missed anything on rewards or any exciting news in general. Did I think so we're going to announce the next cohort of partners next week, C-Ray, so that'll be something there. Also, Christopher's added in the ability for us to dynamically create the modules in the offer wall too. So we're going to showcase that in when we do the announcement for April, so that we'll start to do this. And that's part of what we're trying to do with the program is we're going to give Chris a spot in that update to where he can like go over, you know, technical implementations and progress that they've been making on his side, because his team does a lot like behind the scenes, and I want to make a better effort of like surfacing up the work that the team's doing on the product as part of these updates. And then I think we're also going to work on getting having at the bottom of each of these posts like a graphic where we basically kind of continue to show these the partner logos like growing month to month. So, you know, you start to see like this accumulation of partners in the program and things like that. And, you know, there's behind the scenes too, there's been some discussions around like ways that we can surface up opportunities across the partners to promote things together and things like that are happening behind the scenes too. Crippled Resistance, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well.
This is a follow-up question. Why not incorporate the guano stick into the wallet?
Yeah, no, I think like it's a good question, and that's part of what we were trying to do. I mean, like see from the community was like where, you know, was there interest in that, and I think like from what we're seeing with the amount of stakers, the amount of bat getting staked there, that there seems to be interest there too. And so yeah, I think that's one of the things where we can explore is like you know, what models we can put in there, what options we'll have for staking, and how we kind of surface that up. And so maybe I'll have James come on and talk about that on the next call or the call after that or something like that.
I mean, wouldn't that be better for risk? I mean, that way it wouldn't be as risky and it would be a little easier for people.
Yeah, I agree. And there's some stuff that was added to the wallet too. Like they added in a marketplace section. There are some dApps and stuff that are there. And I've been talking with James about like how easy it would be for us to like to add in additional things there. So staking could be one of those things we had there. But I agree. I think it would be helpful for you know, BAT too to have that there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see here. C-Ray, how's it going?
Hey, doing well. Let me ask, on chain, we talked about having it set up to be easier for people on Uphold, Gemini, or the others to switch to the on-chain to Solana.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the status of that?
I think it's still in progress. I think they're still working on the rollout for more of the head of the custodial stuff. So like they're still working on the broader rollout before we get to the custodian piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to ask. It's I was looking over all my notes, and it's been like a couple months since I really had given anybody a good update, and so figured I'd ask about that, or even what we know of on chain. But I guess it's just
let me touch base too with I'm going to talk to Christopher today, and I can ask him today to give me like a firmer response on that progress on that.
All right, awesome, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Cool. All right. Anybody else? What else do you guys want to talk about? I see that New Keith saying Augustine's playing ChatGPT to create a Leo mascot. It's awesome. Check that out in the chat. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Hey, Battern, what's going on? Are we doing something with Decentraland too, with the community meetup there or something like that?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm working on getting a wearable made, and then we'll have an in-game activation at some point revolving around that.
Cool.
Like during the Metaverse Fashion Week, you'd like go up to a stall or whatever, and then you do like a clap emote, and you get the wearable sent to your wallet. So we'd probably do something like that.
That's awesome. Did you? How was the turnout for that? Did you see a lot of folks there?
Yeah, it was bloody busy from what I've compared to what it was earlier before. Like, awesome. Most people I've seen there, but I'm in there as long as some people.
Nice.
But yeah, we're having like doing like a Brave presentation at some point, because you can like have put like you can put like a stream your screen to like a cinema kind of thing, or like and then just do like you can have like the Brave talk or your presentation in a window in the game, and then you can all just be like in there watching it.
Cool.
So
cool.
we'll probably do that at some point, just do a presentation on Brave and Bat in Decentraland. You know, it's kind of like we all like the local meetups, but it'll be that, but everyone in the world can attend.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think it's a good move. Like, it was interesting talking to them today about, like, you know, and even with Kim too on the last call, like the no code options and things like that, where, you know, people can actually go in and start to make these spaces. The thing I forgot about too is people like rent or lease the land to do things on too. There's so much to it. It's just interesting.
Yeah, here's a whole ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to get the register my name and then have my own personal land and build a tower there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Cool.
What do you think about Hedera?
There's cool. I know that Karate Combat uses them with their karate app, right? Like I haven't spent a lot of time over there more recently. But yeah, like I think like we don't have a direct integration with them, but yeah, like it's one of those things where, you know, that's a more involved discussion, but
yeah. It's not something that's going to be answered in a community call from me to you. It's just something I was just kind of thinking about, because it does seem like good tech.
Yeah, I know they like. I mean,
either good tech or really good salesman. I'm not sure.
Probably both. I know they were like super like involved on the left side of things, but I don't know what. Aside from Karate Combat, I haven't been following terribly closely with what's been going on over there.
I think like what they're doing is kind of like taking the Karate Combat model and then taking it to like different sports events and clubs and stuff. So it looks like something that could really scale. Like,
I think it's smart. I mean, like there's one and part of the program, like, and what I actually I recorded 2 episodes today for the podcast. The first one was with Yemel from Decentraland, but then the other one was with Anton from Sleepagachi. I don't know if folks remember.
Oh
yeah, that campaign we ran with them for their Telegram. Like they had like a mini app in Telegram, because they're actually going to be doing their full scale DApp release in I think in June. But you know, their whole thing too is that there's a lot of health and wellness focus, right? And people are trying to kind of like have better sleep, healthier sleep patterns and stuff like that. And they're actually like rewarding based on, you know, having healthier sleep, right? And so
combining that with Web3 is not market fit.
I mean, dude, like, well, it's interesting because one of the things he highlighted in the call or the podcast today is like, he's like, what we found is that people are actually checking their sleep rating before they would go check Instagram in the day. And I said, that's like a super powerful statement. Like if you guys have gotten, like, if you're implanted that well into somebody's, you know, behavior to where they're actually checking your sleep score before they're going to Instagram, like think about how much reach Instagram has and like the effect that has on behavior. It's super interesting. I think there's a whole, with what we're seeing with like Moonwalk and like with things like Stepping and Golf and Karate Combat, like in these things, you're going to grow that next cohort by meeting them where they are, right? You got to meet people where they are. And if people are already tracking steps and trying to get more healthier, and, you know, if they're trying to do other things like, or if they're already into UFC or MMA or whatever, you can kind of like add this component to it with the Web3 stuff that like makes it value added and, you know, shows off a lot of that. But then what I'm super excited about is like, we'll grow this together, right? We grow a cohort of these partners that are building real things. Like, can we start to get them to work together, like, and have Bat and Brave be kind of like the backbone for that, to where, okay, the Brave Rewards users, not just kind of learning about these things, but like there's opportunities there for pooling things together, getting them to collaborate together. And that's a kind of another part of this that I'm super excited to see us grow as the partners grow larger and larger, and we get more, because these folks all want to market stuff together, and people are definitely kind of burnt on, okay, I've got an airdrop here, and then nobody's satisfied with airdrops anymore. Like, what are new ways we can get products or teams with actual products to get together? And it's not that crazy to do collaborative things together, especially with Web3. Like, and they just need to have a place where everybody's kind of getting together, and Brave's kind of an ideal place for that. But I'm also thinking about stuff like, dude, like, we should be able to, like, with what we can do with rewards, it would be really rad to have like a bounty board and things like that, where you can have people that are like able to earn rewards in additional ways that are beyond just advertising, right? Like, let's say that, like, we have lead users where, and we have ambassadors, that people that want to test out like new Web3 features and Brave Wallet features, or even other stuff, AI stuff, or new nightly things, right? Like, we should be able to, like, set an example there. But then any one of the partners in this cohort, they all have testing needs too. I mean, and some of them are newer stage, and they need testers, right? So, like, why not make a bounty board where they can go in and, like, and that could be part of the offer, or just a module where we're like, here's this week's bounties or whatever, and they're in there, like, awarding out BAT to people that help them get testers or help them find bugs or whatever.
You just made me realize I've got a lead to go to here off this one.
Yeah,
someone doing a bunch of testing on their stuff. Like, I spotted a couple of errors already.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, that stuff for, like, these companies, projects, whatever, you can make paths for this, right? Where, like, okay, well, now if we have bounties, then, and you do a certain amount of them, like, why not, like, use that as a way to kind of, like, boost ambassadors, or, like, give you, like, a higher, rank in a system or something, to where, like, we have, like, Brave is made from lead users, right? Like, we build for lead users, and, like, those are the people we're talking to. Like, let's, like, gamify this more, and then also kind of show other apps like that we're a place where you can access those lead users, and give them a piece, right? Like, give them some reward, right? Like, and if the ecosystem's set up for that, and some of the stuff that's happening right now with, like, the ability to, like, go in, as a self-custody user, and hit there's work being done on, like, a claim feature, so you can, like, do claim your reward, like a claim button, right? Like, why can't we repurpose these things in other ways too that could be, part of this process? So there's lots of stuff going on where we should use this. Like, the program is kind of like a baseline to start from with getting this new offer wall is like a new way to kind of get different ideas out there, like different ways to utilize BAT, different ways to grow the ecosystem. And we're getting to a different place. We have line of sight to like 100 million monthly active users. That's wild. Like, that's such a statement in itself, but, like, it's one thing to grow to that big, but, like, what does that actually mean? Like, what can we actually do with that many users? Like, what can we do with that, with rewards with that many users? Like, how can we kind of, like, become more of a hub and a destination without becoming a walled garden? Like, that's kind of the balance, right? Like, and I think that's why we're kind of doing this program, is to say, look, like, distributed BATs out there, like, we want to get BAT more integrated, and we're looking at it as a much more complementary way to work with partners than a competitive one. And and because you're not competing with a browser, if you have your DApp or whatever, like let's tap into this, and start getting this going. And what we're seeing already is awesome. Like, the feedback we've been getting is good. Like, our team's certainly busy, like, nonstop with inquiries and ideas coming in, and we just want to kind of keep growing. Like, what can we do now to, like, beef up our ambassador programs? What new areas can we start to create opportunities for lead users to, like, have fun and contribute, and also, like, how can we bring in lead users that are maybe, like, less crypto oriented, and kind of, like, tag on BAT rewards with some of the things, and kind of turn them onto it. Like, I think our strength is in the ability to, like, broaden the cohort and grow the crowd and make the denominator bigger. And so, bunch of focus on that too right now. Yeah, different approach. download and test to get better. These are interesting things. Yeah, like I think let's definitely kick this off in this direction. And I think some of this can be us like leading by example and being the first ones to kind of start off with some of these things. But anyway, I don't know. So what else you guys want to talk about? We have 19 minutes left. Anybody? Peeler.
If no one's saying anything.
Yeah, Dragon Jake, what's up, man?
Hi there, welcome. So we are still onboarding everyone to on-chain Solana rewards, right? That's still happening. We're still doing it. Question: we've reached a low point for basic attention token value, right? We are 12 cents, 13 cents, something like that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we don't much have any sort of liquid asset or liquidation in this region, this range of price. So I think we should actually start and fix that. Partners have also been saying that, if I not totally recall this incorrectly, that there's some lack of liquidity on the Solana chain for that. So
yeah, we definitely can do more there, and we should do more there. And yeah, kind of working on some effort around that too, behind the scenes.
I don't think it's much of a Brave only thing, more like maybe we need to build a platform that makes it easier for people who are not so, I don't know, advert to it. Or maybe there are platforms already on there, like Camino Finance, for example, has a system for that to make it much easier for users to go into these kind of things. Or I don't know, whatever. I mean, there's plenty of ideas, staking system, any kind of system that would aid and operate and assist the economy in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're open to it. We're totally open to it, and open to like ideas. Folks want to try, like let's do it. And if there's like certain partners that can help us with this, like let me know. Like we can get them in the discussion too, and like in surface this stuff. That's part of the program too, right? Like if there are partners that can make this easier, and I agree too. Like it should be a bigger than just a Brave only thing. But one thing that we can do is that if there are gaps that want to work with us on this or work with the community on this, we can work on getting them into the program, right? And getting them additional exposure for that effort. Because I think that's one thing where we could be super helpful,
Yeah, and just by sheer coincidence, people could actually earn money with that.
Yeah, exactly. No, we should do that. Like, I think it'd be great. Like, yeah, it'd be fantastic.
I think Camino Finance, just as a baseline, would be an interesting partner for this.
Okay, we can outreach to them too. Like, hit me up too. Like, if you have others that are top of mind that you think would be good, or if others do too, like let me know. I'd be happy to kind of like get them get discussions going with them and work on getting them into the program.
Sure, any sort of pool would probably be a good partner, but
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I think it'd be great. Cool. C-Ray.
You know, if you don't mind me going off topic away from BAT real quick, I had a couple questions.
Sure.
Do you know, as far as customization, if there's anything that we'll be looking at doing? Not long ago, someone had pointed out, like on Chrome, it actually lets you customize the toolbar to where you can choose, like, if you want your download icon to be visible or not, and to keep it there permanently or whatever, like pinned. But for some reason, Brave seems to strip that away and not give people the ability to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been a lot of feedback recently requesting more feature customization for the browser. And I've been relaying that back up to the team. I can find out like where that's falling in queue, but yeah, I mean, I think that this is something where getting the more voices that ask for it, the better. But also, you know, I know like a lot of the stuff from New Keith and folks that have been in that realm have been coming through with requests, and I think around this because a lot of the competing browsers too have a lot of additional customization that people really seem to like. And so, yeah, I think, you know, it'd be good. I got to figure out or find out, or maybe I'll bring somebody on that can speak more to like where that fits in the product roadmap and provide some better clarity on that. I'll take that as an action item.
All right, yeah, I know there's a bunch of things, like I said, around that, whether it be the profile icons, people being able to want to use their own custom images for that, or, you know, being able to do more on moving things around on the new tab page to, you know, a million other things, you know?
Yeah, there's been like there's a redesign too, like for the new tab page that's been in the works too. And I know that Brad from our product design team's been trying to kind of get like updated options for like tops visited sites, things like that he's been working with security and privacy on. So I know these things, there's like on edges of them on the periphery, but specific ones and roadmap I'm not totally clear on. And I should be more clear on them, but I'm not. Just a lot of spinning plates right now. But
Yeah, no, I understand. I know you're busy on a lot of things, usually on the Web3 rewards and trying to get in as much money as we can through everybody.
lots of things, lots of spinning plates, man. But no, I mean, I think these are good points too, and you know, the customization piece, especially because so many users have been looking for, and I see it like all the time, like you know, people either leaving Firefox or because of a lot of the Chrome changes, people especially around ad blocking, a lot of people looking for alternatives right now, and so the customization thing has definitely come up as like as people are looking for new options, which one can I customize, you know, like and it's a totally legit point. I think that, you know, it hasn't been like a huge priority on our side, but it's something that's probably going to go up in priority because more and more people are just talking about it. So I think that's one of those things where if people really want to see it, like tagging the account and letting them know is like a big plus there, because the more that we hear it from the users, the you know, the stronger that signal is, the more it gets it up in the priority.
Yeah, sounds good. And like you said, it is the ad blocker, the privacy, the performance, and then ideally the customization that seems to pull the most. And
Yeah, people dig it. I mean, like it's just and I'm just organically seeing more and more. I'm seeing Brave show up more and more. Like I was watching I saw a podcast clip with like Theo Vaughn over the weekend where he was using Brave, and then I know that Danny Jones is using it too. Like I see that showing up on his podcast more and more, and you know, we're kind of trying to get the word out, and you know, more and more people are seeing. I'm just starting to see more and more people adopt it, and I think, you know, the customization piece is going to be one that keeps coming up, I think, over and over again on this, because people love to customize their things, you know.
right. And I was saying, I know the only thing is what most of the hate for Brave, so to speak, which has a lot, is what priority is usually on Web3. And then, of course, the intro to AI, a lot of it's felt like it's been pulling away from the ad blocking and everything. They're, you know, not really building on that a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, I mean, it is weird, like, because you hear sometimes there's like a smaller cohort that's noisy, and then you actually like see like what's causing churn or how things are performing, and it's like kind of contrary to a lot of that. It really, like, the thing I found is the reality is like you're going to put something out in the world, and like a certain cohort's always going to hate what you do. A certain cohort's going to love it. You're going to hear some mixed in the middle, right? Like, and so, you know, it really, some of these things kind of are also reflected by like what's happening more broadly too. But I think generally speaking, there's never been as much of an appetite for people to switch to something new as there is now. And yeah, I think a lot of this is on us. One, we're kind of getting some more organic push, but you know, this is one of the reasons why I'm going on to more different types of platforms and shows to talk about Brave, because we need to get out there and get where people are. If we're not, and it's kind of a beating a dead horse, but like if we're not meeting people where they are, then they're not going to hear about us. So like we need to go to new places and have new discussions with new people. And the great thing about this is that what we provide with Brave is universally applicable, whether you are left, right, center, live in a forest or live, in the city. Like what we deliver with Brave is fundamentally appealing to everybody in one way or another. So anyway, like a pattern, you got a hand up.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we tend to get this one quite a lot, so it'd be good to hear the gospel on it. What should we say to people who are like, why don't you just get rid of the crypto from Brave? What's the best defense to that?
I think the best defense is like, one, I mean, you can basically hide or all that stuff's opt-in anyway, right? Like, so we're not going to like completely, these are like useful features for a lot of people. Whether like the cohort is complaining about it, a lot of people say the same thing about AI, right? Like in the long run, these are going to be things that are like the ports in your TV. Like you don't think you need them until you need them, and then you're grateful that they're there. And I think like if you look at where the innovation's happening in the web and broader with technology, like AI and crypto are like these areas where they went from being criminalized to like now having official offices in governments where they are applicable. Like you're seeing in Europe, these MiCA regulations are actually like banks, everybody's starting to use these things. So people might have a distaste for it, but also these things sentiment changes with them over time. I think like even more recently, there were people that would say they never would use Brave that are now talking about coming to Brave, like because certain temperatures change around, sentiment, and then people move with the crowd on certain things. And so like the best defense for this is like, look, like the stuff there, you can hide it. You don't have to activate it, but we have to cater the browser for, a broad array of lead users. And realistically, like a lot of people are using AI, and a lot of people are using crypto, and like, I don't know. There's also some stuff Brennan talks about around a variation of Brave that people could pay for, where it is super trimmed down. That I think the team's working on too. So that's it. I mean, like users choose their adventure, but just because someone doesn't like crypto doesn't mean that we're not going to ship things because other people enjoy them. So.
Well, I'm definitely in the enjoy it camp most of the time. Past month or so has been testing.
It's been volatile. I don't know. I think it's it can be. I think you watch your a college fund turns into like a junior college fund turns into a I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but it's a thing where right now we're looking at. There's some major changes happening broadly, to financial stuff, world order, all those things. It's like somebody's kind of shaking up the Etch-a-Sketch, and it's going to be turbulent, when that happens. And I don't think, honestly, like whatever's happening now is price action. Like if you look at what happened in January, the way that the table's being reset with, going from a climate where, it was basically, you basically couldn't be entrepreneurial in this space, at least in the US, to one where like all that's completely favorable now. This volatility we're seeing now, it's like, okay, like whatever. I don't know. There's a point where you're like, I don't really feel anything anymore.
It feels to me kind of like the scams are getting shook out, like the light's been shown out and the true value's being revealed. And it's a bit lower than it was because we took away all the big pile of shit that was stood on. But now that's all gone. It's like, okay, this is still a big industry. It can still do a lot more than it's doing.
I think too, there just is a cultural sentiment where like this stuff with like Libra and like all this KOL shit, like people are just done with it. Like, and I see it where, like, I see it reflected in other ways too. Like, I can go throw an NTT up right now for Sleepagachi, for Penguins, for any of these things where it's like wholesome. We get zero complaints around anything crypto related, even though they're crypto projects, right? Like, I get zero. It's like you see positive sentiment about them out in the space, and like, then like, on the other hand, like, you sew something up that even touches those other things, and people have a distaste for. I think that there's just a real tide change, like what's real and like what's more marketable, like, to a broader cohort. And if you're not doing those things, if it's still stuck in this like KOL hellhole of like, what's the next casino game, that's not going to play for very long. I don't even think it's really playing anymore. But like, I think that, people are really kind of looking at the space now differently. And that's part of the reason why, like, we made a bunch of tough choices in Q3, Q4 last year that were going to help us reorient. And now we're kind of like, things are still turbulent, but like, I don't know, like, I'm pretty optimistic because, one, we've got real product with like real people using it. And two, like, the conditions are in a better way that's going to start to favor that. It's just going to take a little shaking to get things in that direction because, you got all these different things involved. But yeah, I don't know. There's just a real bad taste from a lot of the behavior in this space. And I think that the space is not going to grow unless it takes a better approach to a lot of these things and starts to say, well, what are the real ways? And you're seeing it play out in other ways too. I mean, like, look at like what's happening on the Ethereum side of things right now, where you've got like, we can't just keep out nerding our way into like a science project here. Like, who's actually building apps that people want to use? Like, there's that conversation happening every day over there, right? Like, and so whatever end of the spectrum it is, I think there's a real hunger for like, get stuff that people can use, please. Like, we've been screaming this forever, but let's go. Oh, Left Hand's in the chat. Hey, Left Hand, it's cool to see you here too. But yeah, so cool. I think we're right about top of the hour. So yeah, thanks everybody. We'll be back 1 week from today. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks for joining today, and see you all online. Have a good one.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
I love you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.